It's your own episode of Love Island.
Exactly. It really is.
Love Island was sixth graders.
Less tans, more opiates.
When was the first time you remember performing stand-up?
My brother's funeral, actually.
Wait, really?
My dad is the character. He marched with Martin Luther King. He twice wrote the definition of privacy for the encyclopedia. And then my dad was also like a nudist.
Wait, what? So glad you're here because each week we look at someone else's ridiculous childhood, and Ben Smith is here with, I think, some real gems.
I sure hope so. Yeah. I mean, you shared some gems from the previous episode that'll be coming out. I'm hoping to live up to that.
I think you can do it.
I don't know. I'm just a guy named Ben Smith. I don't. There's not much to me.
So the reason people listen is they want to hear about the town you grew up in. And so where did you grow up?
I grew up in the smallest town in the smallest state, which was Block Island, Rhode Island, which is a 7-by-3-mile island off the coast of Rhode Island. So.
Wait, it was an island?
It's a legit island. You have to take a ferry to get out there.
I don't know anything about you. You're from a weird place. For people that don't know what island life is like, how would you describe it in a couple sentences?
So the way I usually describe it is, so there were 8 kids in my graduating class. So it was
in the whole class.
In the whole class, yeah.
Oh my God.
I was prom king and queen.
Right.
Yeah.
How long was the ferry to get off the island, or how did you get
an
out?
hour. Yeah.
Really?
An hour. Yeah. Sorry,
so you knew everyone on the island.
Oh yeah, and still do. All my friends are still there.
Yeah.
I go out and visit them.
And the police probably still have your picture up on the wall.
There are only 6 cops out there.
Okay.
And in the winter from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., there's no cop on duty.
So your street, what is your street like that you grew up on?
It's Center Road, right up the street from the cemetery.
And what were the neighbors like? Were there kooky neighbors?
It's tough to describe neighbors out there because it's like the houses are somewhat spread apart. I mean, and also I guess the whole island is your neighborhood. I guess.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like you can get around the whole town in 20 minutes. You know. So
right.
I grew up. I could ride my bike.
Oh, it's that small.
It's 7 miles long, 3 miles wide.
And that's the whole island. That's not just the town on the island.
I mean, there is town on the island, which is a big deal for islanders to go to town. That's like going to the city for like errands and stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? There still are people.
Big night out on the town.
Yeah,
Better get the golf cart.
I'll go back and visit, and I'll be at a bar, and I'll text my bud, and he's like, I'm not going to town tonight. Are you kidding me? I can't go to town.
I can't go to the big city.
Parking's going to be impossible in town. You know what I mean?
Do they even have cars on the island?
They do have cars on the island. The speed limit is 25 miles per hour,
right.
Which lends itself to a pretty easy spot to drink and drive. You know what I mean? Which could be a national law. If you're drinking and driving, just stay under 25 miles per hour.
So, was the closest neighbor like a mile down the street? Everyone lives in their own little section of woods, or
kind of, yeah. There's different. You can kind of see the shape of it here, but the listeners can't really. You can in post you can pop up a shape of the island. So.
Kind of looks like a dying penguin.
I never heard that. That's good. I mainly hear a pork chop, but I like a dying penguin. I'm going to pepper in some common questions that I get, and what most men ask is, most women will ask how did you get to the island? What size was your school? What size was this? What size was that? Most men just ask, did you guys all lose your virginity to the same girl? And the answer is yes.
And was she all your babysitter?
And the answer is yes, but it wasn't all at once. It wasn't like a initiation ceremony.
Thank you for your service, Melinda, wherever you are. We appreciate it.
When I earlier said there are certain things I will include in the podcast but don't want clipped, this would be a good example. Because me and my 7 to 8 best guy friends, we all lost virginity to the same woman, which is a true Eskimo brother situation.
Right. So how is your mom? No.
That's the tough part about growing up in a small town too, because you meet your mom's friends, like her guy friends that are out there and stuff, that grew up in her social group. In my social group, we all were incestuous. So now I'm like,
right.
So I'm like, it was described to me as a Ferris wheel. Everybody, it's the same.
And I'm sure everyone's not we're kind of joking about being a little bit slutty, I guess. I don't know what the right word is now.
Promiscuous.
Promiscuous. Yeah. But it's not like you guys were that. It's just that's what living on an island is like with no people. It's
you're working with the same.
It's your own episode of Love Island.
Exactly. It really is Love Island.
Love Island with sixth graders.
Yeah, exactly. Less tans, more opiates. Love Island. But the thing is about the island life is in the summer, it'll swell to like the population to like 20,000.
From what?
From 800.
Wow.
So from 800 to 20,000 for 3 months.
Is there that many properties on the island?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's hotels. There's plenty of rental houses. And then all of a sudden, October hits, everybody disappears. And so the highs are high, the lows are low.
So were kids sneaking into those empty houses in the off season?
Yeah.
Between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. when there's no on-duty police officers?
I was a good guy growing up, but my brother...
Except for this one night you're about to tell us about.
See, I'm the good guy, but I have a twin brother that him and his buddies would drive around with BB guns, and they would shoot out windows and then use that to sneak into the house.
Oh,
and they'd steal all the booze. They'd smoke blunts in there and everything.
Oh, they were nasty.
They were bad boys, and they got.
When can I hang out with them?
They got caught, and their excuse was it was a cold night, and we needed a warm place to go and make a.
The other nights we were just practicing for a really cold night.
So they were like, "Well, why did you steal all the booze?" So yes, in the off season, because it's a small town, nobody locks their houses. It's very common to people just. I leave my keys in the ignition. You might find a drunk person just sleeping in your car. It's a very like unique upbringing.
Because even if they steal your car and wreck it, you know where their house is.
Exactly. Yeah. Or if somebody steals your car, they got to wait for the next ferry to leave. So you just go to the ferry and wait till somebody pulls in with your Jeep Cherokee, you know? So, yeah.
Wait, I know you. We lost virginity to the same woman.
Yeah, exactly.
That is...
So, well, and also, I mean, after freshman year of high school, I had had enough of this small town life. And I left, and I moved in with my dad on the mainland, as we call it. We're currently on the mainland in America right now. This is the mainland, if you didn't know.
All right.
To us on the island. On the island, live with my mom. On the mainland, live with my dad. And so I went from a school of 8 kids in my class to 300 in my grade. That was like probably like 70 to 80% Black and Spanish. So it was
That's totally different.
Wild.
And that happened freshman year?
After freshman year, yeah.
I would think I would love that decision.
Yeah.
And then maybe even think I liked it during it. But looking back, I think I would prefer the small island life.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. Like, when I reflect on it, I joke about being valedictorian. I could have easily been valedictorian. I could have easily gotten straight A's and gotten to a better college. But honestly, like, it taught me a lesson just about pulling the plug when you've had enough of something and you need to kind of level up, like just to force you. It was the best decision I've ever made.
Okay,
just
good.
To like meet new people, expand my horizons, and you know, all my friends on the island, they're into like dirt bikes and hunting, and I was into like YouTube videos and candles and stuff. So I'm like,
candles.
I just was trying to be the opposite of dirt bikes, but no, I was more into like
the mainland has Yankee Candle. I don't know if you heard of that guy.
Yeah, exactly. So I
did the big school. What town was that in?
Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did that have any gangs activity going on?
Yeah. I saw a gun at school. Like
was the initiation like you got to dip some candles? What was the initiation for the gang?
Yeah. I did see a gun at school one time, but it wasn't like the suppressed white kid school shooter type. It was like the cool Spanish kid that had
like a Glock.
Backpack.
He had a Glock.
He had a pistol in his backpack. Yeah.
But he wasn't shooting anybody. He's like, look what I got for Christmas, guys.
Sometimes you bring it just to bring it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just to know that it's on site. Yeah.
Did the island have notorious characters or kooks?
Yeah. You get like the one homeless guy everybody knows. His name is Rocket.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, there were two homeless guys. There was Rocket.
Only homeless during the summer when all the houses were full.
Yeah. And it was so Rocket growing up would buy us booze and stuff. But you go find Rocket, the one homeless guy on the island. The church offered Rocket a home to live in year round if he just quit drinking, and he said no. He said, I can't do that. And then there's another guy named Hacksaw growing up. The homeless guy named Hacksaw, and they called him. This is a great story. They called him Hacksaw because he used to be a bartender at a bar, and somebody had chained a bike to the telephone pole in front of the bar, and they were like, "This bike's been here forever. So and so, go get a hacksaw and get that bike off the telephone pole." And he got a hacksaw, and instead of cutting through the chain, he cut through the bike. and from that,
and you're like, "No, that's my bike."
You're known as Hacksaw the rest of your life. You make one decision.
You said you had a sibling.
I did, yeah.
Was it just the one?
Just the one. My twin brother. This is where the tragedy starts to.
Okay. Before the podcast started, he said, "My life gets pretty dark pretty easily." I
does.
wonder why, based on what you said so far.
Here's the turn in the movie where everything's going great.
This is where we start to learn a moral lesson.
This is where, exactly.
What did Hacksaw teach you?
It's I had a twin brother that unfortunately passed away of a heroin overdose. We were 21 years old. Which,
end of the podcast. Thanks for coming, Ben. Back to Hacksaw and Rocket. They seemed like lovable guys. No, what happened with your brother?
He unfortunately.
Were you guys close?
We were. I mean, my twin brother. We grew up sharing a room. We grew up, being best of buds and everything. And I went off to college at UMass, and he didn't, and kind of was just a wayward kid for a while. And it's like
so you got your whole childhoods together.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like
it wasn't like a 5-year-old.
No. And it's like
Rocket's got a gift for you. It wasn't like that.
Yeah. And so he had gotten into some bad stuff that just progressed pretty quickly.
I think I hate to say it, but what I know about island life is something like that is not that surprising.
No, and it's the dark side of the small communities.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where honestly, him and his friends were really playing Russian roulette. And all of them made it through. He was the one kind of, I don't want to say martyr, but he was the guy that passed away, and they all kind of got their lives together. But
so he was kind of a hero in a way.
He
really was.
Yeah, I really thank him for the years of trauma that he bestowed upon me. So
from before he passed away or after?
He was definitely a bully growing up.
So your brother.
So here it is, Alex. Is like I think this is why I'm an insecure guy. Is I grew up with a twin brother who was
more handsome than
3
me.
inches taller than me.
No,
and more handsome than me.
I was joking. I thought it was real.
Oh, an absolute ladies man. Absolute ladies man.
The only guy on the island who loses virginity to a different lady.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And so it's but we shared a room, so it's like imagine growing up with a more optimized version of yourself.
Like that movie Twins. You were the Danny DeVito.
I was Danny DeVito, exactly.
I'm more of a Danny DeVito guy, so
yeah. So it was a very unique upbringing in that I was constantly compared to my brother, both like looks and athletics and stuff. I was always like the smart, studious one, but how far does that get you?
Little did you know, you could have said, "Well, I'm going to live longer." So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm working on just like, if somebody asks me if I have a sibling, to say that part, you know what I mean?
Which part?
I've had this in modern day times where like a coworker will ask me if I grew up with any siblings or if I have a sibling, to not say no. It's important to that legacy.
I'm sure you guys had some happy memories together.
Absolutely. And but it's just important to his legacy to me to acknowledge it. You know what I mean? Because it's who I was. But it's a very unique part of your identity that gets taken away at 21.
Right.
So that's probably why I did stand-up comedy a year later. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, well, I need something to be interesting. My name's Ben Smith again. Yeah.
In the spirit of that, what do you think the happiest memory with your brother was?
Oh, man, that's a great question. I think just like, I guess like growing up watching wrestling together, being the little tag team that we're beating each other up or practicing those moves and stuff. And
it's like backyard wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome. You know what I mean? That's being a dude is.
Did you guys ever like set up a ring?
We did. Yeah. We did. Yeah. We more so just put a mattress on the ground and like, but then like you'd immediately be like, oh, you hit me too hard. What the hell? Yeah. Like tap. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And also, I think even the bad stuff, but I mean the bad stuff of like it wasn't completely toxic, but just like the bullying and like brothers fighting
Yeah.
is a very special
Everybody
thing.
fights.
It's a very special thing of like, punching each other, but like body shots that are not that painful and just being mean to each other.
But you spend most of your life up until 18. That's when you see them. So like, even though your brother's gone, you maybe only seen him once a year for you know what I mean? Like you got most of your memories already.
Absolutely. And it's like, we have the same group of friends on the island, and it's why I view them all as brothers too.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we all have the same tattoo of his name, like me and 8 other guys, which is really cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's
Did you guys all do that on the island?
No, we did. We went to the mainland for tattoos.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you said there was 8 kids in your graduating class, one of them was your brother.
Yes, exactly. So I just had to beat him out for valedictorian, but also compete with him for every single the attention of all 4 girls in the grade, you know?
Right.
So, here's a good story. This is a good lesson. My mother loves this story. So I was always the studious one. I was running for student council. So I had to win over, 8 kids' votes. I mean, and so I learned.
You really could go door to door.
I learned a lesson in politics though, because I was up against one other person, and I didn't know I had my brother's vote, but I knew I had the 2 other boys in the class, and there were 4 girls, and they all had a crush on my brother. I gave my brother $20 and I said, "Tell the girls to vote for me," and they all did, which is a great lesson in politics. It is, yeah. So I was able to win the popular vote and go on to great things in the Senate.
What was your biggest achievement in student politics?
I'm so happy you asked that, Alex. It was creating a dodgeball league for the community.
Wait, you actually did something?
This. I'm not all talk. It was back when Dodgeball the movie was popular.
Yeah,
and I was a freshman.
You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a ball.
Yeah. And so I created a dodgeball league for my entire school.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was the ref and everything. It was great.
How did you guys raise the $50,000? That's a dodgeball reference for people listening.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that would be the number one accomplishment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Were you and your brothers ever troublemakers together?
That's a good question. No, I think that he always pushed me to be
Which one was the bigger troublemaker?
Him for sure.
Okay,
and I was not like the teacher's pet, but I did try and
you played one on the island.
Yeah. And I think that's why I often try to be a mediator in situations, because I was used to covering up for him, or like my mom was mad at him, my dad was mad at him, and I'd have to kind of alleviate the situation with a little humor or something. And so,
do you remember a time you had to cover up for him?
Yeah, I did all the time. Yeah. Some graduation party we went to in high school. We went out. We got hammered off of what was the cheap? Not pop off vodka. $13 a handle, I believe. Plastic bottle, And then we went home, and he decided to take my dad's car out for a joyride, like an old shitty like 90s Toyota car or whatever.
Okay.
And he hit a deer. He hit a deer. And and so the front left headlight is broken. The whole it's all messed up. And he calls me, and I'm like, all right, it's still drivable. So I like walk to him. That's how far like an island is.
Yeah.
Make it that far. We drive back, and I was the one. My brother didn't have a driver's permit at the time for some reason. I did. I took the fall because I had a driver's permit.
No,
and I didn't even need to do that.
Yeah, why did you do that?
That's just where my mind goes. Where I'm like, I'll take the fall for it.
Yeah. I was
like, my dad will be less mad at me because I'm a good, studious kid with straight A's and a driver's permit than at you. So I was like, I will take the fall.
And then did the car get fixed?
I think that it was just like totaled, but it was like out there.
Totaled?
Well, I mean, it was worth $300 the car. So, but out there, you just buy these old beater cars and drive them around, because you just need a go-kart to get around out there.
And did the Deers family sue?
The Deers family did not sue. We have our own species of deer on the island.
You do?
It's the Block Island white-tailed deer.
Okay.
It is because back in the 80s,
this is fascinating.
You'll love this. Some guy just brought out 2 deer, male and a female. And now we have thousands of deer from those male and female. So what's going to happen with that?
Okay, thank God. I thought you were going to be like, the man had sex with the deer. Our own species of deer.
Deer man.
Like a centaur with a drinking problem.
Yes, you got to watch out for the deer men of the night.
That's why the police don't work from 2 to 5.
That's when they feed, Alex. That's when they come out and feed. But we have our own species of inbred deer that are exceptionally dumb, and they're almost like rats. Like they're like you get if you kill a deer and you like chop off the tail, bring it into the police station, they'll give you like $50. They're like, you did a good deed today for killing the deer.
Okay, so really, you went in, you're like, Dad, I made you $50 tonight.
Yes, exactly. So my brother was a hero for killing that deer.
With this money, you could buy 4 of these shitty cars.
Yeah.
They have the same problem on Catalina Island because years ago, a movie brought bison there to film a movie.
Yes.
And then bison took over the island.
I thought you were saying Catalina had the similar problem, but with Spanish people.
No, not at all.
No, it wasn't.
No.
Okay, got it. Because you bring out 2 of them.
And now we're to our sponsor, Ice. No, I would never. I hate Ice. Making that very clear.
I love it.
Hate Ice.
Who likes Ice? Yeah.
You lived with your mom primarily.
Yeah, so it was like a mix. Like it's kindergarten through 2nd grade, I was in Providence with my dad. Then I moved out with my mom on the island for 8 core years of my life, and then went back to Providence.
Well, how would you describe your mom, or 3 facts about your mom?
She lives to provide for her kids and provides for like all of my friends and stuff is great. She's very chatty. And has a sweet tooth, likes dark chocolate, but just like literally, not like figuratively in terms of who she dates. But
was she? Now I know how to get all those Spaniards off Catalina. I can't believe I just said that. Would your mom make the sweets ever?
She did, yeah. This was a great tradition growing up. Is for Halloween, the morning after, we would bring all our candy downstairs, and she let us pick certain candy to put in pancakes for us to eat.
Oh, I love that. I'm gonna start doing that for my kids. Doing it,
yeah. Somebody put in like some like dots one year, and it did not pan out really well. But yeah.
I feel like Halloween.
My dad is the character. My dad is the real goofball.
What makes you say that?
He was 50 years old when I was born. Older guy.
Oh, geez.
Kind of checked out. He had put in his time with another family, and then but he was a goofball. A very kind of eccentric man, but an impressive man. Went to Harvard. He was a journalist. He, after college, went down to Alabama, marched with Martin Luther King. And then my dad was also like a nudist growing up.
Okay.
He was a nudist. So.
It's got to be rough on an island of 80 people.
It is. Especially when there's one nudist beach that is a popular.
We know where your house is.
Yeah, there's also one nudist beach on the island, like legally, and it happens to be the best surf spot out there. I am not a surfer. All my friends are surfers.
Because they needed a way to, okay.
So they'd be surfing, like, oh, what's up, Mr. Smith? You know, you're just kind of on the shore watching us surf, you know.
Pretty cold tonight, I see.
Yeah. So yeah. So that is a very unique part of my father growing up.
I love that I asked for 3 facts about your mom. You're like, sweet, giving, loving, dad, naked all the time.
But in a good way, though, not in like a nefarious way. Right. You know what I mean? I used to always
in a good way, but I could describe his penis perfect.
Yeah, like everybody has seen their dad's dick, but I
have not.
You haven't?
One of the last things I said to my dad, he fell in the bathroom before he passed away, and he needed help changing his clothes. I said, Dad, I've made it my whole life without seeing your dick. It's not going to start today.
Wow, I feel like that's a core memory, though. Like in a. Seeing your dad.
I hate to break it to you, it has not been.
This is just through my perspective on life, but no, he was an active nudist, so it was like most teenagers sneak into the house. I make it abundantly clear that I'm home. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, Dad, I'm home. You know? And he had nudist magazines, so I would be able to. That was my first introduction to naked people. But
wait, how is a nudist magazine different from like a Playboy?
Great question. It's like just average people. It's
no one's enjoying themselves. That's the main difference.
Instead of beautiful people, it's like imagine going to your nearest Ralph's, but everybody's naked. You know what I mean? So that was the you might find one gem in a nudist magazine,
right?
But yeah, there was actually. So my father, there was an article about my dad in Playboy, not for being a nudist, but he was like a privacy rights expert. So his big thing is that his as a journalist, he was always worried about Big Brother. It's no secret that he was
There's just something so ironic to me about being a privacy advocate, but being fully naked everywhere.
You would think that, but there's also like that was his private choice. You know what I mean? To be left alone and kind of be naked. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He didn't want any cameras or anything. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So there is an overlap, but he dedicated his life to privacy. He wrote like books about privacy rights, about like Big Brother is watching, about like he was always worried about in the future that we'd all just be a serial number, our data would be harvested, our data would be sold from company to company. He was saying this in the 70s about our data, which is now happening. He twice wrote the definition of privacy for the encyclopedia.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he twice wrote the definition of it.
Like it was his job to write the definition of privacy.
They said, you are going to be the guy to write the definition of privacy.
How does that happen?
The encyclopedia.
Wait, for people that don't know, encyclopedia is like Wikipedia. It was a book back in the day.
Yeah.
That's where we got all our knowledge.
Yeah.
And if you were like my family, you knew everything about the letters A through C. You could not afford the rest of the books.
I liked looking up swear words in the encyclopedia growing up. That was always a fun.
But how did your dad get that job?
So they just like for certain topics, almost as like a homage or like a badge of honor, they pick an expert to write the definition of it. And I don't remember it verbatim, but it quite simply is the right to be left alone.
Have you made an AI likeness of your father yet?
I could though. You know what's interesting is that like when some people look back on their deceased parents or whatever, that they might have some photos or whatever. Like I have, like interviews of him on TV and stuff that I can look back on, which is really cool. Or I haven't done it yet. I could read a book of his, but I'm just too lazy to read a book. He has like 8 books. One of his books in the 80s finished second to Julia Child for National Nonfiction Book of the Year award. So it's a good book. It's not like a bad book. Yeah. So I should probably read the book, but I haven't gotten around to it yet.
For people listening that are interested in this, your dad, who sounds amazing, how would they find these books? Like, what do they look up?
Go to Robert Ellis Smith, his Wikipedia. He has a great Wikipedia that has an extensive history of all the things he did. I mean, he was like Forrest Gump. He had an amazing, amazing life. And it has a list. His bibliography is right there. His books are still available on Amazon.
So I've never had to think about this before because I don't have anyone that's accomplished in my family. But when you write a book and you pass away, what happens to the proceeds of the book?
So I think it's just like on the Amazon secondhand book marketplace. Okay. You know what I mean?
So they're not first runs. It's like they're not used first copies.
Runs. Yeah, exactly.
So there's no one accomplished in your family either, then.
Yeah,
it's not just
much.
me.
Yeah. Besides, I mean, like he was an amazing guy.
Yeah, it sounds like.
But I think maybe all of these things with my brother and my dad, it like lends itself to why I do comedy, to try and assign some kind of identity in terms of what I love and making some type of legacy. You know what I mean? So I'm the first person to bring stand-up comedy to Block Island, my hometown. So I run shows out there 3 times a year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And
I bet the neighborhood loves that.
The whole community comes out. We get like 250 people at every show.
Yeah.
And it becomes just a massive party. And it's an amazing thing. And so I am proud of that. And I know my father would be proud of that too. My brother as well.
Did you start performing when you were a kid?
I did. I always wrote jokes as a little kid. I remember my first bit.
I would like to hear it.
You really know. I don't know.
I want to hear it.
So it was.
How old were you?
Probably 12 or 13.
So middle school.
Up loving stand-up comedy. Like I would watch Premium Blend, Comedy Central, and I was on the island in the winter. I would just listen to stand-up. And I would have little Post-it notes in my wallet, and I would write bits on the Post-it notes. And the only one I remember is Tic Tacs like advertised as being only 1 calorie. And I'm like, who's getting Tic Tacs like watching their weight? You know what I mean? Who's like, oh, now I'll do the Tic Tacs. They're now only 1 calorie. Or somebody's like, oh, those Tic Tacs are high calorie. I'll go to Altoids instead. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
At 12, it's pretty good.
You thought about it.
I was a little Seinfeld kid, and I was like, oh, what's the deal with Tic Tacs? They're 1 calorie,
Did you get to perform it?
I've done that at open mics just to like when I'm bored to tell people my first joke, but I've never done it at a show.
I guess what my real question is, like, when was the first time you remember performing stand-up as a kid?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. My brother's funeral, actually.
Wait, really?
Kinda. I wrote like a really moving 10 to 12 minute monologue about my brother that had a lot of jokes, a lot of humor baked into it.
Yeah.
And it was the ultimate blend of tragedy and comedy because like people were at this funeral. It was on the island. There were hundreds of people there. It was packed because it was a really sad event. And
so the first time you performed stand-up was your brother's funeral.
I knew that. I mean, I was always the class clown. I did public speaking growing up in school. You know, I would always work in jokes into presentations, stuff like that. But I view that as my true first time writing a set and performing it because it really, I had a microphone. There were 300 people there.
Yeah.
They all listened. I had set up punchline. You know, I had tragedy in there. I had comedy. I think I'm still chasing that high, honestly, because I haven't been anywhere that human since then on stage.
Well,
but,
that's a hard first to beat because everyone is on your side.
Exactly.
Because your brother passed away.
And it was like, people were wondering, what is Ben going to say? This is so sad. And so it was like, I don't want to sound too like blowing smoke up my own ass, but like I think important for the community to hear me come out and be a real, you know, beacon of optimism, I guess. So,
yeah. Do you remember anything you said during?
I'm trying to think. Oh God, the most inappropriate thing somebody told me after. So my mom and I always talk about this, of the things that you say to somebody grieving and the things you don't say. Somebody reached out to me on Facebook 2 days after my brother passed and said, Ben, I know you're going through a lot, but last night I used a Ouija board and we have to talk. At the funeral, I said, what did the Ouija board say? Please don't hit me up. Like, please let me rest. You know? What could the Ouija board have possibly said? You know? And
I need a BB gun. It's cold up here.
That's a great reference. Yeah. And I always think it's funny. Like I said this in my eulogy that, you know, when you go through death, people reach out and they're like, you know what, they're in a better place. Like they were like, your brother Gregor was his name. Gregor's a little angel in heaven right now. And I'm like, my brother was a 6'2" monster that loved to smoke blunts. You know what I mean? He's not a little angel.
Yeah, everyone says nice stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter
I mean a monster, like he was an evil person, but it was like he was a guy that loved to party. I just imagine him as a little angel.
Beast.
Yeah. Imagine him at the pearly gates. You know what I mean? No, he's like, where can I smoke a blunt? Where, you know, things like that. So that was my first example of like, I guess, working in humor, and I told those bits during the eulogy.
Yeah, your brother seems like a kind of guy that would get up to the pearly gates and be like, "Heaven, this isn't where I wanted to be."
Exactly. Yeah,
get me down to hell pronto.
right. Yeah. So I just think it's so funny when you go through things like that, the condolence messages that are offered, and they don't. Like they mean well, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's just my mother and I constantly log different examples of the wrong grievance message to provide, you know.
Did your brother and you ever get into trouble outside of the house, like breaking into places or maybe shoplifting? We used to steal candy as a kid.
Did you? Yeah, there was all types of getting in trouble, just like running around drinking and stuff, but it's kind of laxed on the island. Everybody just has kids being kids, you know. So for me, there was one day where my buddies and I, we just decided to shoplift. You know what I mean? A lot of kids go through a shoplifting phase because it is thrilling.
Yeah.
It is. Have you ever like stolen clothes or anything
well,
like
we
that?
used to steal. After school, we would go to the grocery store and see who could come out with the most candy in their pants. That's what we do. Whoever got the most got to keep it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. But like, shoplifting is undeniably thrilling.
Yeah.
It's a rush and you're getting free things. So we went to Bob's Superstore, which is a clothing
furniture store.
No, there's Bob's Clothing. It was big in like Southern Mass. I don't know if you ever had them in. I guess you didn't have it in Western Mass, but
we
like
might have. I just think of Bob's Discount Furniture.
Oh, I see. It's kind of like a Marshall's and yeah, and me and my buddies all like put on hoodies, but then put on our jackets over our hoodies and just marched right out. And then one guy like met us at the door and pushed us back in, and we got arrested for that.
Yeah, that would be a lot harder to do at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Would be harder. Yeah. There's less
we got the sectional guys. Pivot. We got to get out the door.
It's just like, you get the ottoman.
Who's getting the chaise lounge?
Yeah. Just
we're bad boys.
Freaking teenagers again. Freaking yeah.
So you got caught?
I got caught, and it's not like that grave a story, but I just remember that night being grounded and having to give away my tickets to Girl Talk. Remember DJ Girl Talk?
What is DJ Girl Talk?
DJ Girl Talk? Girl Talk was big in like from 2006 2010. This DJ that would mash up a bunch of different songs and stuff, and it was such a sign of the times of me, like really dating myself, saying I got grounded and couldn't go to the DJ Girl Talk concert. And then outside of that, like I've gotten in trouble here and there with like drinking at parties or something like that. Never that serious, you know what I mean? That was a great thing about growing up with my brother, who was constantly getting in trouble. Like my
So
mom had already
off
been
easy.
through it. She was just chain smoking cigarettes, just like, oh, you stole from Bob's. Gregor just broke into 8 houses with his friends, armed with guns. Yeah. Where I definitely partied and all that, but I think by comparison to my friends, like I was not the adventurous one that was getting into like crazy trouble or anything like that.
Right.
You know?
Great place to be, a great spot to be in, I think.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Just, everybody thinks I'm like a saint when I go back home.
Yeah.
I mean, just because I left. That's a great thing about small towns. They look at you as a hero just for leaving. Yeah, just being in LA is a credit to your hometown. You know, like, oh, the guy lives in LA now. You know what I mean? But it's like I'm doing nothing out here.
What's it like in a city with 6 traffic lights?
Yeah, exactly. There's only one intersection in my hometown, so
Do they have a light?
there's no light. No.
Just a stop sign?
Just the stop. One intersection, one stop sign.
4-way stop?
4-way stop. Classic 4-way stop.
And that's where everybody lost their virginity, right?
It is. Yeah. I could very well be at that intersection and just see 3 other people who lost their virginity to the same person. You know what I mean?
This is where we find out it was actually the stop sign. They lost their virginity to.
Yeah. It's all connected, Alex. Yeah.
Well, I can't believe it. That flew by. We've already
Did
run
we hit
out
our
of time.
time?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Hell yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I hope it was good for you.
Yeah, I would love to have you back. If you guys want him back, let me know. And I like to end the podcast with the same 4 questions I ask every time.
All right.
I call it the gauntlet. Are you ready for the gauntlet?
Bring it on.
Question 1. Looking back, what's a memory you have from growing up that just makes you smile and you're happy?
That's a great question. About 3 months before my brother passed, I'm a big rap guy. We went to a rap concert in Cambridge, Mass, and he had a blast. And it was just me, him, and our other friend, and we had a great time. My brother got kicked out for rolling a blunt in the bathroom, and this is a great example of my brother, who he was, the kind of guy he was. Is he got kicked out and he said, "Ben, I'm so sorry," because he knew I was so excited to see this rapper, and he's like, "I'm so sorry. Like, you stay and just text me when you're out." And I get out. And my brother's in a car with 3 other strangers that he just met outside. And they were rolling a blunt together. So I was like, I love that story because it's who he is, who I am, and a great night. One of our last
and it
nights
shows
together.
he is a nice guy.
He was a great guy. He was very personable. Everybody loved him.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's off the top of my head one thing that makes me smile and I think about that.
Second question: what's a memory you have from growing up that it's like the first time you're proud of something you did?
Normally, I would say that eulogy at the funeral because that was like just an amazing amazing experience. I would say honestly, like leaving the island, it was because it was very emotional because I was like my life was out there, my friends were out there, but it was something where I learned in life where it was like there's something greater on the other end of that, and kind of it really was a kind of an amazing decision in hindsight, just me at 15 or 16 on my own saying, no, I'm ready for something more.
Yeah.
And it ended up being one of the greatest decisions of my life. So I'm really proud of myself for doing that when it happened.
Yeah. So I guess you say, don't be afraid to take a risk.
Yeah. And it's all cliche, but it's like, it just was on the other end of that vulnerability, because there were weeks or days where I would sit alone at lunch, you know what I mean? But then by the end of the year, I was, a fairly popular guy. We can get into this later, but my dad would leave to go to nudist colonies, and when he would, I would throw parties at his house, and the whole high school would come.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
My dad would go vacation on weekends to go to these. There are nudist colonies like in Vermont and all over, and he's like, "All right, Ben, I'm leaving for the weekend." And
so you had like I
had the house to
classic
myself.
movie party.
Oh my! It was Project X before Project X
with like Jennifer Love Hewitt in the back.
We called it Smith Fest. Yeah. So we do a whole episode on Smith Fest, but it was a benefit of having my dad being a nudist, is he would leave on weekends.
Well, we gotta go into this just a little bit.
Sure.
What's like the biggest memory from Smith Fest you have?
2 kids were like just talking. They weren't like fighting or anything like that, but these guys were like scrappy athletic guys, and they were like, I think you could like. The one guy was like, have you ever slap boxed before? Do you ever slap box at all in high school? No, it's just boxing, but you slap instead of punch. And they were like, I think I could beat you in a slap boxing. a slap boxing match, and I went up to them. I was like, guys, hold on. Let's clear out the space and let's actually do this right. And so it was like right out of a movie. You had 80 kids clear out a space in the middle, and these 2 kids slap box for the whole party. And I still have people quote that to the say, guys, stop. Let's clear out space and let's do this right. Yeah. It was amazing. Yeah. So Smith Fest was a big part of my legacy. I guess.
I feel like this
That's
would be.
I'm very proud of is actually throwing those parties.
I feel like this would be in a Kevin Smith movie for sure.
Oh yeah. What I'm proud
Jay
of
and Silent Bob
is I still have people tell me they're from other sides of the city, other parts of town that never had been to this kind of a white middle class affluent area, and they're like, I'd never been to that part of town. I had never really interacted with those kids in high school, so it created these core memories for other people, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Question 3.
Yeah.
If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice, what is it?
I wish I had done a semester or a year overseas, but I was so worried that I'd miss out on a great party. And I'm like, I gotta stay in Western Massachusetts because I might miss a kegger at this frat house with no girls. So I am not going to go to Spain for a year. And so that is a regret of mine, outside of going back and saving my brother.
That is a great bit of advice. I love that.
Did you ever go overseas or something?
I did, yeah.
And you're a well-rounded man. Yeah, where'd you go?
That's how I met my wife.
You're kidding.
Wow. Well, we went to the same college, but then overseas, our college owned a castle, so you'd spend a semester in a castle.
That's amazing.
And I used to go into her room to try and hang out with her.
Yeah.
But she wasn't having it, so I dated her roommate for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then it made her jealous, and that's how we ended up together, more or less.
Wow. What college did you go to?
Emerson in Boston.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they own a castle in
Netherlands.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So see, that's a great story. And but I was too busy on missing out on the kegger at Zeta Beta Tower or whatever. Yeah.
Last question.
Yes.
It's more of a formality. Every time I have a guest, before they come, I ask them what their go-to childhood snack was.
Okay.
I'm sure you remember your answer. For everyone listening, what was your go-to childhood snack?
And I think this is who I am as a person, but my go-to childhood snack was a ham sandwich, which was...
I have to say, the weirdest answer I got.
How is that weird?
Because I didn't know what was on the sandwich.
It was just Wonder Bread, ham, mayo.
I knew it was Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
The reason I always ask is I get people their snack as a thank you gift. And I couldn't find Wonder Bread. I tried so hard, but we had to get artisanal bakery.
Oh my God.
And I got you a box of ham.
That's amazing.
And what I like to do is we cheers the snack real quick.
We cheers the snack. Okay.
And that's how we end the podcast.
So you get the bread and I get the ham. And
we got to crack it open and make a sandwich.
Oh my God.
Head to gladpod.com for more podcasts or to support us on Patreon. Either way, I am so glad that you were here.